progress. Remember, learn from my mistake. So I found a really interesting way to show you guys how exactly we're going to start detailing this. And we'll give you a good example of how you can go from there. And the idea with making this really blocky guy and making him really, out of quads and really simple and everything like that was so we can use a simple tool, and it's in Max and it's in Maya, and it's just inserting edge loops. So just going to select a tool in Maya, and let's see, where's a great place we can add edge loops to? Just that way we can get a bunch of detail out. Well, how about the side? That way we can make them less blocky. Oh look, it goes all around his body. Now this is going to be useful, and I didn't connect the head directly to the body yet. I just lined up the verts just so I can get this, so I didn't get excess edge loops in the head, because I think it already has enough for right now. And now we can start shaping out the body a little bit more. And if we worked directly on the torso, an easy way to do this would be, well, let's go to the back real quick and take some vertices, and let's just average them. Let's average them again. Now we're getting to a more rounder, refined shape. We can do the same thing with these edges over here. And go to a different view, and we can balance these guys back out over here. And now we're starting to get a little makeshift torso. We want to go to our front view and start forming what's going to become the armpit. We don't really have a good back picture, but if we make sure to line it up in the front view, we kind of have a good idea of where we can go from there. I'm going to move this up there, snap it to our grid. Move these up. We can start making the rib cage. Now we have an abdominal area over here we can start forming. Let's go to our arms. Just grab edges. I'm not going to do an edge loop selection for this because I might get more than I intend. And then we're just going to, whoa, there we go. It's not on that list. Well, I can convert them to vertices and I can average them. That might have averaged some a little bit too much, but we can just always grab those. Move them back up. Starting to get a nice form of everything else. Grab some more. Whoa, no. Hot boxes. And just keep forming it up. I mean, of course, this is going to thin out the arm, but we can always go back and buff that back up. And especially for verts such as those, which are starting to get carried away, we can move them out. I'm going to take them right now, and I'm just going to scale them outwards, just so it's more round. When you're modeling detail like this, and we're just going for a base mesh, you just got to make sure to be accurate and make sure you're getting edge loops where you want. And then if you're doing that, you should be pretty good. I mean, they're all staying straight. They're all going over here. These would bend naturally. We're getting nice looping around here. It's looking like a shape. We can add another loop over here, and let's do that right now. Let's start forming this upper area. Which, let's go towards the center, actually. Is there anything specific we have to go for? Well, there's this bicep area. Let's form this over here. Let's center these out. Not really center them, but start shaping it as an arm. Move these out more. Let's grab some verts, such as these two. And that's a Maya display area, but we can fix that really quick. Let's grab these two. Let's push them up here. Let's move this one up. Let's go to the back. And you're going to get really great looking at the perspective at really different angles. And I suggest you always do that, because it will give you an idea of what your silhouette is and how it's changing. We're breaking out of the reference a little bit more, so I need to go back and fix that. Always make sure you're lining up with that reference, because that's going to be your guideline of what a human looks like. Remember, we're not too good at figuring out what things look like from memory. So, always make sure to check that. Clearly, we're going to need some loops here, so let's go ahead and add those. I'm just doing it in the middle, and later when we're retopologizing, we're going to actually move these around, and we're going to scheme it down to a little more necessary area. But you know, something you got to remember is the arm's not a tube. We have elbows. So, we're going to move this edge back out a little bit more. We're going to move this one in a little bit more. We have a radial ulnar joint. You know, some of our arm bulges in areas that the opposite side of the arm does not. And honestly, this is just a reference for a hand. We're actually going to delete it and make an entire hand from scratch, because it'll be a lot more efficient. Oh, save. Not going to forget. You know, make sure that our areas that we're creating what am I selecting still? That's weird. But make sure the areas you're creating, you know, always look at them in perspective, always look at them in orthographic, check frequently. You know, and then we're going to add another edge loop in here. We're going to define the armpit and the deltoid, and we're going to get all this together. And you're just going to detail everything like this and just keep pushing that. Okay, and we're back. And I got a little carried away with adding detail. As you can see, the try count's pretty high now. And we wanted it under 1,000, remember? Well, it is technically under 1,000, but we still haven't even detailed the hands yet. But we just wanted a base mesh for this, and a base mesh can go for whatever we need. So, for right now, let's look at this. The head itself is just basic detail. I put in eye sockets, and I started fixing edge loops. And I started taking away detail we just didn't need, like that edge right there. Whenever I find detail I don't need, I just delete the edge. Get rid of it. Like, let's look at the detail over here. I mean, is this really needed? I mean, I guess we do need something to bridge the nose. And something to bring in here, but can this work? Let's try taking rid of those edges and just seeing what happens. I mean, does that really significantly change the model? No. And it saves quite a few polygons, so let's just get rid of that. And we have this edge loop we don't need. Let's delete that. Nice flat area around here. Now let's see, this chin area. Do we really need this? No, we don't. Let's get rid of that. And as you can see, we're slowly chipping away at our poly count. We just got rid of 20 tries. Now maybe there's a way to kind of mold this into here and get rid of these. Let's see if we can do that. There. That didn't really significantly change the detail at all. Let's combine this into here. I mean, we kind of have a sharper jaw right now, but again, for a base model, this doesn't matter. We just knocked off about 50 tries right now. And we can keep doing this and keep producing over and over and over again. I mean, let's look at these loops over here. This isn't very pretty. How can we get rid of this? Well, first off, do we really need this detail? No. Let's get rid of that. Then get rid of the superfluous edge. Can this be combined into here and keep the detail? Let's check. Whenever I'm talking about detail, I want you to get accustomed to imagining that I just said silhouette. Because that's what we're worried about. Because the texture is generally going to keep all of our detail visibly. When we're modeling, we're just making the silhouette of a creature or character. I mean, me taking away that one area, did that really ruin the chin? I mean, still a human, right? And how many tries did I save? Oh, I didn't even delete it. So let's try that then. Going from 954 to 950. That's good. And let's just keep deleting things, seeing where we get. I mean, we need some of these areas just to refine areas like the jaw. But we don't need to refine too much. I mean, it's a low poly model. Can we save this try here? I think we can. Now you can actually take this and keep pushing non-stop over and over and over and over again. And it's going to take a while. We can de-shape the head to make it less round in the back, because this detail is not going to be needed. Especially when we add hair. But for a base mesh, this is pretty good. This gives us an idea of something we could take in the future and add detail if we want without needing to do too much work, or remove detail, again, without needing to do too much work. It can have boots on, gloves, 5 fingers, or none. So this is good to work with. I even already started lining up the geometry, so it'll be good for animation. Notice how I did the back. Arms move in a more realistic way if your edge flow starts curving around the shoulders like this. And it's easy enough to do if you start with a box. Anyways, I'm going to take a wild guess and say I'm going to have a lot of editing to do. But for a base model, I think we're done. Be sure to save.